Hi guys, it is time to talk the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about the new episode that premiered and Dorit's robbery. Andy Cohen bringing up LVP to Kyle on Watch What Happens Live last night, and also Kim Kardashian devastated that she has to style herself from now on. And then, of course, Teddi Mellencamp getting into the mix because she can't help it. She can't help herself. She really wants to be part of that Housewives mix, part of the Fox 5. But let's get started. Before we do, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything that I have coming. And make sure that you turn your notifications on because you never know when something's going to be going on. And so it's always good to turn that on so you don't miss any information. Some of you guys follow Instagram and Twitter, and some of you don't. So I'll give you guys also a little bit of rundown of what's been going on around the internet since last night's episode. First of all, I want to talk about Dorit and Kyle on Watch What Happens Live last night. They were on, and I'm not going to recap the whole episode for you guys because I'm sure that you saw it, and if not, you know that in this season we're going to see Dorit dealing with a robbery because it was all over the media and the news outlets when it originally happened. I'm seeing a lot of folks that don't think that this robbery was legitimate. Allegedly, they got the money, $1 million in insurance money, and allegedly PK paid off part of his debt that he owed to the Bellagio hotel. Now, a little bit of tea, if you guys haven't heard this, it's been a while now that PK was staying at the Bellagio and he was gambling one night, and they basically loaned him a lot of money and he lost it. And so he had over $1 million gambling debt that was drawing interest, and I'm pretty sure that they even sued PK, and he was supposedly, he paid the interest, but then he was supposed to be making monthly payments. Well, allegedly the insurance money from this robbery they took and paid off the Bellagio. Now, it's important to know, guys, they do have other bills, possibly taxes, back taxes, liens on things because they owe the government money. So people that say it's a little suspicious that these people came in and made sure they said they wanted over $1 million in purses and jewelry, and then they get the insurance money and they pay the Bellagio, which seems a little bit strange because if you owe the government, that affects your taxes. I mean, when you owe the government, it's very serious. But if you owe the Bellagio and they maybe have ties to, people, like the kind of people that we talk about are in New Jersey, maybe that's why they paid the Bellagio off first. And this is where people kind of start to keep the ball rolling, and they go into saying that it's possible this robbery was planned, and maybe there was a lot of pressure from the Bellagio and the owners for PK and Dorit to get this money taken care of. And we don't know how well connected these people in Las Vegas are, and possibly Dorit and PK were nervous or scared, and maybe even somebody brought up the option that maybe PK set up the robbery and didn't tell Dorit, and so it's very real to her. But maybe that's the case. There's a lot of speculation over how long the robbers were in the house. If you watch the video, they were outside for a very long time before they broke the glass. People also were questioning why Dorit didn't hear the glass break, but she heard her door open. And then, of course, everyone going nuts about the alarm system allegedly not being set. And Dorit touches base on this whenever she was on Watch What Happens Live. So she said that there's sensors inside the house, and because she has such little ones that often get up in the middle of the night, she doesn't like to set it because then it can trip the alarm. Now, lots and lots of people, respond to that with the response that there's options to set that off, because obviously a lot of people have little kids. And does that mean that you never set your alarm ever at night when your kids are there because of the fact that they could trip it? That seems a little off to me. Does it seem off to you guys? I think her reaction seems very sincere, and I feel bad. I do feel bad that, nobody would want to go through a gun being held to their head and, all of that. And then the next question I personally had was, okay, so they gathered at Kyle's house afterwards. And to me, that seems kind of normal, because in my community, that would be everyone in the family or loved ones and friends would gather at one location. And, so that everyone can kind of be together and get up to speed and so on. And Kyle tweeted back to someone who was saying, like, why would Dorit and PK be at Kyle's house when they have a couple of small children, and they just left them, with the babysitter and security, and came to Kyle's home? And Kyle responded and said because they didn't want the kids to know, because the kids didn't know that they had been robbed, and so they didn't want to talk about it in front of the kids, and they didn't want the kids to see them be upset about it. That led me into my question, though. So Dorit says that they leave the phone outside by the gate for her. She's supposed to count to 40 before she goes and gets it. If she called 911 or the police, wouldn't the sirens and the commotion, pause. If you called 911 in the middle of the night and said that you had just been robbed at gunpoint, who do you think that they would bring? Like, would it be a couple of cops, an ambulance, a fire truck? Like, what do you think would probably show up at the location of where the alleged robbery took place? I mean, I would think there would be some sirens and a couple of cops at least. And so it's hard for me to understand how she would have called the police and had the police. I'm sure they would have gotten there immediately. Like Dorit says that people left, but the police could have been worried and searching the area for these people. So that's a little bit suspicious to me. I don't understand how she would have been able to call the police, tell them that she'd just been robbed at gunpoint, and then show up and be so quiet, and so much so that the kids had no clue what was going on. Also, Andy Cohen, he was very, people were commenting on this too, like he was praising Dorit, giving her a lot of, I don't even want to say encouragement, but he was praising her, which is something we don't see very often, because we heard she was on the chopping block this season. So again, people feed off of that as well. That maybe that's another reason, because this is a storyline as well. Not only did they get to pay off their debt, but now they have a storyline, which I don't know. I mean, some people are accusing Bravo of this. Sherelle's World did a whole interview about it, and it was so funny because she kept telling PK, like, we have a mutual enemy, don't get upset with me for saying that I don't believe that this robbery story actually happened. But that was what her and her panel were saying, and then they were speaking of her, they have this mutual enemy. And so then I am, kind of listening, I'm scrolling through, and I see Dana Wilkie, and she's on, and she's made this shirt because I guess he made some sort of post about a pond and Dana. I didn't know there was so much conflict between them. I guess PK and Sherelle's World must not like Dana Wilkie. I don't know. That's just what I'm picking up, because like I said, they kept saying that they have a common enemy. So anyway, she made this shirt with the actual post of PK in the pond or something. She was trying to make light of the situation. So that's a little interesting. I know some of you guys follow, Dana or Sherelle, so that's why I wanted to just, give you guys a little bit of that. Now, I also wanted to say it was so funny because Andy Cohen asked Kyle about LVP. First of all of Kyle's girls, except for the youngest one, Portia, were bartending, and they had to guess the answer. They had to guess the answer closest to what they thought their mom would guess. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, the question was, how much does Kyle miss her friendship with LVP? And the answer Kyle gave was between a 2 and a 3. That's how much she misses her friendship with LVP. Also wanted to say that Teddi Mellencamp is coming forward to clear things up, because she does not want anyone mistaken that her husband was in charge of Dorit's security in her home. She tweeted this, which is a little strange because, number one, it seems like she waited a really long time to clear that up. This whole time, people had been speculating that Teddi's husband, Edwin, had done the security for Dorit's home, but Teddi is now coming forward and tweeting that he did not do the security for the home. Then Andy Cohen said since the alarm was off anyways, it really wouldn't be relevant if Teddi's husband did the alarm system or not. I thought that was kind of a dig at all of us, like all the fans. I thought that was like a little bit of a dig and a little bit in support of Teddi Mellencamp. I don't know. I got a weird feeling about that. I didn't like that. And then, oh my gosh, we see Sutton. Everyone is, of course, talking about how they felt like she was like not super sympathetic or empathetic after the robbery when she films with Kyle. Kind of getting mixed emotions on that. Some people say that she has a brain and she had already heard the rumors that the robbery may have not actually been a legitimate robbery. She apologized, though. And again, I want to remind everyone that thankfully for her, she did ask questions to Erica last season about all of this money and sort of thing with Tom, and she was really one of the only ones we saw asking Erica the hard questions. But what I wanted to point out was when Erica got to Kyle's house, I'm wondering if she has seen Mauricio since she watched the reunion last season. I can't remember. I don't remember if Mauricio was at the reunion last year. Did we see the men at last year's reunion? Because that would have been a great time for Erica to bring up, you know, Mauricio and PK making fun of Tom's situation and the whole surgery, work on his leg, not his brain type jokes that they were making. Because we see in last night's episode, she kind of confronts Mauricio and tells him that he hurt her feelings about, you know, what she saw. And he kind of plays stupid at first, but Kyle like relays what Erica is speaking about. And she, you know, he just says sorry and she just goes on about it. It just, you know, like nothing happened. So it's a little strange that she is so forgiving to Mauricio, but to Sutton, she has no, like, nothing, no grace for her. That's the word I'm looking for, no grace. And I think that that's only going to get worse and worse because now Lisa Rinna is pissed at Sutton. And so they are going to work together as a team to do whatever their plans are to do to Sutton this year. What else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, yes, I wanted to tell you that Kim Kardashian is devastated, okay? It was reported allegedly that she is devastated that she doesn't have Kanye to style her anymore. She, like, films this whole scene with Kourtney and says that the first time she styled herself, it was for some award, and Kanye called her and told her that her career was over and that she looked like Marge Simpson. And he sent her a picture of Marge Simpson in a dress that looked similar to what she was wearing. I don't know. Some people are saying that it's because she was with him, he was controlling, he was a narcissist, and so she she doesn't know what to do. And other people are just saying it's like a very spoiled response. But I wanted to do a whole video on this, and I didn't get a chance, so I'm just going to slip a little bit of this in. You guys do know that Reggie Bush did this whole spread with Daily Mail and said that Kim Kardashian knew about the sex tape. She had to sign off on the sex tape, and her and him have been making money off of this sex tape since it came out 20 years ago. FYI, the highest rated, most viewed sex tape ever. And they've been making money off of it, and that's messed up because I'm going to tell you guys why this is really messed up. One, Kim lied about it, made it seem like this man took something very sacred that they had done and did together and put it out for everyone to see when that was not the case. Her mother negotiated the deal for them, okay? And they had been getting paid ever since. And Kim was acting like a victim, guys. He claims that she had the tapes. She had them under her bed. And when they were getting ready to come out with the new E-series, you know, Kim and Chris decided they thought it would be a great idea to, you know, allegedly act like they had been leaked. That this sex tape had been leaked 6 months before the Keeping Up with the Kardashians appeared. And so he's coming out and saying this. He said he hasn't said anything in 14 years because obviously he signed off on the tape and the contracts and the litigation and everything. He probably hasn't been allowed to legally speak on it, okay? Kardashians are killing it in court when it comes to Blac Chyna. I don't know what's up with her attorney. I don't know if she made herself look bad, if the attorney made herself look bad, or if the Kardashians are that powerful in LA and within our judicial system that it's just win, win, win. It's not going to be that easy when it comes to this whole sex tape thing because Chris and Kim have a lot of answering to do. And I hope that we get to see. I hope they don't try to play us and just play it off. Chris did make some sort of a statement, but we know that legally Kim and Ray J would have to sign off in order for the tape to be released, or she would be able to sue the production company for lots and lots and lots of money. Lots of money. Now, someone said she did sue them, but it was only for like a day and the lawsuit was dropped, and hypothetically, allegedly, she only did it so that it would look like the tape had been leaked and she was suing for that reason, but that wasn't the purpose. It had something to do with like the contract, but we didn't know that at the time. So, insane, guys. It's if we have been duped on this sex tape for 20 years, that's a long time to lie to people, and say, like, they must have never ever thought this would come out. And they were worried about Kanye. They were worried about Kanye making them look bad. They've been trying to censor Kanye for a long time, scared of what he's going to say, scared of what he's going to tweet. And now this blast from the past comes through because of the whole new Hulu series and how she opened up with allegedly, Kanye going to retrieve these sex tapes. And I did a whole video on, Kanye being in the airport with Ray J for 4 hours, going over all of the tapes and text messages and correspondence between the two of them, up until they stopped corresponding in like 2009. So, and, Ray J said Kanye really didn't want to believe it because he had been played too. He had been played. He didn't know. So allegedly to Ray J, even Courtney and Chloe, they don't know. They believe Kim. They don't know that she did this. They don't believe that her mom and Kim had anything to do with this. So, just letting you guys know. But make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to do a much deeper dive on the Kardashians and this whole Ray J sex tape scandal. Just because I want to just give you guys all the details because it's so crazy how Kim has played us. And then I'm getting some comments about the whole Jan from Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I am happy to do a deep dive with her because she gave a lot of interviews. She didn't even get paid for them, and she had a lot to say. So I can definitely relay that to you guys. Maybe that'll be the next one I drop. But anyways, have a happy Friday, and we will talk soon.